SoFloRadio.com and SoFloTelevision.com. Since the dawn of civilization, the elusive quest in pursuit of the perfect drink continues to evolve. Now more than ever, we reap the rewards of this passion. The perfect vintage, the finest brew, for a spirit of optimum age and class. And now, SoFloRadio.com invites you to discover the wonderful world of booze by the glass.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to By the Glass. I'm your host, Brett Hubbard, welcoming you to explore another wonderful session of ByTheGlassShow.com. We are a show about beverage culture, come to you every Thursday at 6 on SoFloRadio.com. And then you can always check out my archives at ByTheGlassShow.com. Over 200 shows of some of the best stuff going on in South Florida. I'm joined by my on-the-board man here, Mr. George Rodriguez.
Wait a minute.
Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
Oh, wait.
Oh, no. It's I've been bad. I'm sorry. I didn't notice.
All of a sudden.
I didn't see it for a second
Just
there.
like that.
We got Rob from Daily Beer Review coming back in. He's going to review these wonderful beers.
What's up with you guys?
Hey, what's happening, brother?
Hey.
And he's going to be reviewing Saltwater Bewery. Okay, I got Dustin to my right over here. Dustin, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. How are you doing?
Hey, talk right into the mic, brother.
sorry.
I'm doing
Better?
well. Thanks for coming out in this absolute hurricane.
Yeah.
It is a band, right, George?
The Hurricane? Or no,
There's a band called the Hurricanes, right?
I think so, yeah. You want me to play some of
This
the
is a
music?
Hurricane band. Yeah, you can play Hurricane if you want. But no, thank you so much. Saltwater Bewery up in off Atlantic in Delray. It's a wonderful place, a beautiful place. I've been there a few times myself. I do love to go there and quaff down some really, really nice, tasty brews that you guys have.
Cool,
So
thank
thanks
you.
so much for dealing with the BS to get down here. This is part of our Drink Local series. I love doing this series because we get to talk about what is the core of the beer existence in South Florida, our locals. And you guys have a lot to do with that, definitely. You're a big part of the whole thing. And basically, you're part of a crew, right? The Saltwater Bewery is a craft brewery started in 2013 by childhood friends Chris Gove, Bo Eaton, Pete Agardy, and Dustin Jeffers. That's you. Yeah, very cool. So you guys tell me about growing up and being friends.
So it's Chris Gove, Bo Eaton, and Pete Agardy. They grew up, born and raised in Delray Beach. Childhood friends. Chris was kind of the younger brother of Bray, and Bray, Bo, and Pete were all same age, went to school together, all hung out, Boca, Delray area. So born and raised locals, surfer kids, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, cool, man. I love to surf, too. I was hoping that this storm was going to bring something in.
Yeah.
Right?
A couple of our bartenders were up north yesterday surfing.
Oh,
Came
really?
back in, yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I love about the Saltwater Bewery. If the name didn't give it away enough, you guys, you really are all about what is the ocean. Your series, you even have a series based on coastal reef and offshore zones.
Yeah, so coastal is all our lower alcohol.
Uh-huh.
Reef is the medium alcohol, like 7 to 9%. And then we have offshore, which is 9+%. So that's kind of how we name our beers. Also, we do 3 charities. We work with CCA, which is Coastal Conservation Association, Surfrider, and Ocean Foundation.
I love that. I love doing charity work. I love giving back. It's great being in the business because you can actually use what you have to give back, and it's a really nice medium to give back, especially to the Surfrider Foundation. They're very important down here in South Florida. I moved down here in the 80s, and I've been surfing. Deerfield was my home spot.
Yeah.
And I watched it change over the years, but it's not so bad. I mean, there's a lot of commercialism going on there, but it's still a good spot to go out and catch some waves.
Yeah, we had a big party for Surfrider 2 weeks ago for International Surf Day.
Oh, you did?
We brewed a beer, our South End session. We aged it on sea grape tree and called it our Surfrider session. So all the beer sold that day, we gave to them. Had a big raffle. Pete painted a surfboard for him with the sea grape tree on it. So
Really?
that was our first big thing working with them.
I was in the brewery once, and I saw Pete actually painting on the walls. So when you go in there, tell me about the decor of the brewery. It's a real wonderful place to go in, and you soak up the scenery, right?
So, the barn was built in 1952. It was the original Delray Farm and Feed Supply Company.
Visible from 95.
Yeah, very visible from 95. It's pretty much 95, the train tracks, and then us. So pretty easy to get to. Built in the 50s, so it's all Dade County pine, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Of course, it's hard to get and really
Yeah.
beautiful.
So the first floor, we had to cut out kind of holes for it so we could get our tanks in there. So we kept all that wood, built our bar out of it. So our bar is made of all Dade County pine.
Yeah.
There's also barn doors that we took off, had refinished, and that's our picnic tables outside.
It's a beautiful presentation when you walk into the brewery. I really love you. You basically have your fermentation tanks right up there. The brew house just behind it. There's a great platform about mid-level, 1 story up, where you guys can when you walk in and you're drinking at the bar, you can see the guys that are working on whatever it may be that day. And it's laid out really beautifully. It's very clean and it has a real good flow to it. It's a really nice place to sit and suck down a few brews for sure.
Yeah, we want it to be all very visual, so we want it to be like a big education center for beer, so people kind of start understanding how to brew. That's not just if we run out of something, they're not like, well, why don't you just brew it right now and we can drink it. So we have a lot of facts up. Pete drew a pretty good explanation of the whole brewing process, so if we're not giving tours that day, people can still kind of look, and then the glass is right there, they can see it.
Speaking of glasses, there's like 6 empty ones right here, Brett.
Well, I was waiting for Peter. I mean, that's like really rude to start
Normally
drinking without the
Jason's
guy.
I went out to look
Yeah.
for him, and as you
I
can
know,
see,
the
it's
poor
raining
guy's
hard. He's
out
probably
there.
sitting in the car.
He did a missed call. So
Good thing
maybe
he literally is called a waterman. So I'm glad because it's like pouring outside. So I feel bad.
No,
for
I
him,
wouldn't
man.
come in
Definitely
either.
wait for him. I got one of those waterproof ones too. It's definitely
Oh, yeah. I
definitely
need
very
this
a
brewing.
necessity,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I seen a commercial where they drop it in the. I was waiting for them to do one of those like T-Mobile commercials where the guy
Wow.
drops
Look at that right now.
drops his phone in the beer.
Look at that there.
Wow.
That is hurricane weather. It's interesting. Yeah, it's definitely a band. It's interesting how it's hurricane weather when it goes from completely clear outside to young Frankenstein, right?
This is
I'm waiting for
crazy.
the horses to go.
You guys should have had Big Storm here today or something.
Well, we had big storm here.
Really?
Actually, the last time that we had big storm and there was a big storm.
That's
Yeah.
right. It was predicted.
We love doing all the local.
We're
brews
magical
in
that
Florida.
way.
Yeah,
We make
We've
magic.
done a lot of really great local series. We did everything from Siesta Key Rum years ago, 5 Orange Vodka, and just anybody you can think of that's been local. We were waiting for you guys to open. We're very appreciative for you to come in and share with everybody. It's nice to have one place where you can basically go by theglassshow.com and just punch it in and listen to a show about everybody that you might be interested in, whatever brewery it might be or all of them. It's a great community in South Florida. And
Yeah, I saw
know,
you guys had Andy on last week, right? From
yeah,
Terrapin.
Terrapin.
Oh, yeah,
that
exactly,
was Rob
yeah.
hosting.
That was my debut.
Rob, he was guest hosting that. I was tied up and doing something, but it was nice to have Rob come in, and Andy was a great guest.
Yeah,
of
he
course,
lives-
we've always loved Terrapin beers.
Yeah, he lives right down the road from us, so
Yeah.
we see him a lot.
He's a very interesting character. I really
yeah.
enjoyed that show. Great job hosting, Rob.
Thanks.
Jason only
Appreciate
gave you a B plus, but I think you did better. than that.
Bastard.
So yeah. No, but it's nice because basically it's forming a nice little mecca down here in South Florida of all local breweries that are opening up. It's a good place to go. So talk to me. You're the head brewer. How'd you get your start in brewing and that whole thing? Let's talk about your story a little bit.
So I actually came down here for grad school for speech pathology. I was at FAU, and Pete's.
What is that?
Speech pathology, you work either with kids that have speech disorders. I also worked in a hospital doing
So
like stroke victims, working in the NICU, like premature babies, doing feeding therapy.
My daughter was just born a month ago.
Congratulations.
Oh,
I was going
I
to
know
say,
all
can we
about
talk
all
about that?
stuff, yeah. So thank you. Yeah. So you're a therapist of sorts.
Yeah, so I got my master's, and while I was doing that, Pete's actually now my cousin. He married my cousin, so
Great.
now we're family.
Is that how you guys knew each other? Or did you know each other
Yeah,
before that?
so they were dating for 10 years. They just had their 10-year dating anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
So he's
What's her
been
name?
part
What's your cousin's
Lauren.
name? Pete and Lauren. Congratulations.
So he's been a part of the family for a while. I
Great.
moved down here, and he had an art studio in Boca doing all like the marine life art.
Mm-hmm.
We're homebrewing in his art studio, and Lee, who is Chris's dad, he owns the barn. He bought in the 90s, I believe. Came in to have Pete do a big for lease sign for the side of the barn. Huge barn, so we wanted a big sign professionally done. Saw we were homebrewing. And then that started the whole conversation with the Go family of them always wanting to start a brewery. So Chris wrote the business plan, moved back from California, back home. Bo left his job, started with us. So he's our head of sales. And
Hey.
There he is.
yeah,
up, Pete?
kind
Hello,
of
brother.
gave up
Welcome to the
his
show, man.
personal art, and now doing all our art.
That's great.
and
I've seen Pete in action, definitely painting the walls, the beautiful artistry that he brings to it, and I love the fact that you guys have a mantra about everything. Pete, why don't you sit down since you're the waterman, and you just got soaked outside. I thought it's classic. I'm looking at the notes and look outside. So, and thanks so much for dealing with the traffic and the storm and getting down here. We appreciate it. Talk to me about your mantra and your whole point of view with the brewery and how it fits into the South Florida lifestyle.
Well, our brand really, exemplifies a life on and around the ocean. And catching my breath still, right?
Yes.
No
I
problem.
had to do
Hey, you
that
can pop
for a
some
couple
beers now that
minutes.
he's here.
Oh, okay.
You can pop beers now that he's here.
So, with that, most of us in the brewery here grew up in and around the water, on the water, fishing, surfing,
Yeah.
locally here in Florida or from around the country, a couple of us. And I myself and a couple of other partners just, and all of us in South Florida saw it fit for the market. And we live it beyond beer, brewing beer. That's the next thing we live, is just embracing the sun and the sand, and the water. So that was just point A, start there. And how can we embrace that with my art and my following, and how I built a pretty decent professional following with my artwork in South Florida in the game fish industry and surfing and,
Do you
and
want
culture.
Can you throw out a plug right now, like your websites or whatever, so people listening at home can
Yeah,
look
yeah,
while they're
yeah.
listening?
I'm Peter Agardy. I Peter Agardy Fine Art is what I've been going by the past few years professionally. And when I joined forces with Saltwater, it was just for me a match made in heaven. I mean, being able to use my art attached to a brand, with a graphic design history. So bring that to the brand.
Extending your artistry through beer, liquid.
Yeah, and then that's the whole thing. Is that it matches because it's crafted beer. It's handcrafted. Everything we do and stand for is handcrafted, hand quality. Made local.
quality.
So.
Talk to me, Dustin, about the beer we just poured.
All right, so I just poured our lager Delray. We just kegged it yesterday, so I was hoping to kind of be ready for this.
So doing a lager is what? Have you done lagers before?
No, we just came out with 2 lagers today.
Okay.
We have this, which is our American Light Lager, and then we have our IPL, which is India Pale Lager aged on apricots. So Delray, spelled like DEL space REY, means of the king.
Okay.
So we kind of did it Delhi, like the city instead. So
Yeah.
RAY. So it's a light lager brewed with just Pilsner, rice. We put golden hops in it, and then we aged it on a little thing of sea grape tree, which is our version of beechwood.
Yeah.
So if you guys get the joke,
That's
then
awesome.
cheers.
It's interesting too because the rice used to enhance the flavor of the beer and lighten it. Adjuncts tend to get a bad name in brewing.
Yeah.
But you guys using it to enhance the beer as a craft beer, as an artist, to really add another aspect to the beer.
Yeah, we did it to do a little stab to one of the big companies too. The whole beechwood rice lager.
This is delicious,
You can name
by
it.
the way. I get it smells citrus, but it tastes like hazelnuts. It's just really, really different.
So only 3.5%.
Wow, really
light.
It hits that mark too of that shall but not be named. It's kind of in that like that you can taste the wood and you can taste the rice. You know what I mean? Like what it does to the malt. You know? And it being a lager, it's impossible to hide any imperfections. So you guys did a really nice job on this.
Yeah,
one.
we're pretty happy with it because low alcohol lager. If you do something wrong, you're gonna taste it right
What's
away.
the alcohol on it? I'm sorry.
3.5.
Wow, that's fantastic. Super sessionable.
Yeah, it was either obvious mistake, which meant not putting it out, or it had to be what it was, is a clean beer. So
It came out really nice. It did.
So we have a South End session also. It's our other before this lowest alcohol, 4.5%. We made it kind of our intro into craft beer for people. It's all ale ingredients, but it kind of has that Pilsner bite to it. It's pretty smooth, and then finishes kind of dry.
You fermented at low temperatures, similar.
Fermented at our normal temperature that we're doing our ales. It's just
okay.
really basic grain bill
Okay.
and the hops, and we kind of let it ferment down a little more than the other ales. So I didn't bring that one. Figured Lager Delray was fine.
Yeah, this is nice. What do you think, man?
I like it. I
like it a
like
lot.
the touch of rice too.
It's definitely different
Yeah.
than a lot of things that are out there. And that clean Pilsner malt really shines through when beers are this fresh. I often say it's tough for people when they're trying Pilsners out there to understand what local craft Pilsner means. It means that you're trying Pilsner malts that are so fresh that generally if you get a beer from Europe, it's going to be high quality, but it's going to be shipped. It could be 6 months before you taste it. Same thing with a macro or a beer that's being produced regionally or nationally. It could be quite some time, even 3 to a month or more before you try the beer once it goes through all the the processes, and you're just losing that extremely fresh Pilsner malt flavor that you can only get from something that's just a week old. And it's really a big difference in the overall profile.
Totally.
And lagers have been getting a bad name in craft beer, and it's starting to get a better name now thanks to
Isn't it funny though how
new breweries coming out.
What have we done as Americans? Even pre, let's say, the 1800s, we kind of took all our traditionals that were over in Europe and we kind of made them over here, and then they just kind of filtered down to the lagers being the only thing sold. And it seems that a lot of the bigger craft breweries that have been around forever, they're kind of now putting out lagers and judging themselves by their lagers too. Where back in the day, 10 years ago, whatever, it was ales that were only stouts and IPAs. But now it's kind of like coming back around to where it's like we can make great artisanal craft lagers. They don't have to be these macro beers that are just the staples that have everybody's had to settle for. And it it's certainly not something that it's something you want to be judged by, because there ain't no screwing up in a lager. So this one's a nice example. And is this something that you guys will put out there? Or, you talked to me. You have 17. Well, at the time that I read your notes, it was you opened up with the first 4 months with 17 different beers. How many are in the rotation overall, and what do you like to do? Talk to me about that.
So we want to always have our South End session. That's kind of our big flagships. Our Screaming Reels is our IPA. We have a Bonafide Blonde, which is a Belgian blonde, unfiltered. We have a Spiny Tail, which is our pale ale, just Cascade hop, one hop, so people kind of can explore that hop. And then Sea Cow's our milk stout. So
I love that milk stout.
I brought one.
There's not a lot of good milk stouts either. I mean, everybody kind of falls back on left hand, which is great, but it's not local. There's just not a lot out there. It seems it's interesting to me that you don't find. I know Florida's not a big stout and porter place, but yours was very, very drinkable on a hot day. It went down very, very easy and fresh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we want to always have those 5 right now.
And then, so that's your core lineup.
Yeah.
And they're always on tap at the brewery.
Yep. And then, so distribution we just signed. So we're starting to put out South End, Screamin', and Blonde to different bars and restaurants.
The initial ones that are going out.
Yeah. So, and then past that, we have a Bermuda Triangle series, which I brought 2 of them. Those are real high alcohol, usually like 9 or.
Did you hear that, George?
I heard that. Yeah, I got all excited.
George's ears are tingling
right up.
So we have a
high
Belgian
alcohol.
barley wine.
George is gonna get lost in the triangle.
Sure. I've been there. I've been there, lost in the triangle before. I found my way out.
Bring it right here.
So I brought 2 of those. I brought our Don't Get Confused, which is a Belgian triple.
That's going to be tough for George.
And the Mayday, which is our chocolate cream porter.
So talk to me about the Don't Get Confused. That's a cool name.
Yeah, so it kind of came about when we were doing construction. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, well, one of our partners, he's an older gentleman, and actually owns our building, one of the building owners, and he Lee Gove. He's a really good, really one of the best guys on this earth, and he had a few expressions in the build out of the brewery, and there were a few that we saw we made fit into our naming and branding criteria, and basically we went offshore and did the Bermuda Triangle series. We kind of put ourselves outside the box we've been keeping ourselves in for branding and naming, and we kind of adapted a few of his sayings. One of which was "Don't get confused." Like, trying to think of an example.
Usually with women.
Yeah, don't get confused. You got a girlfriend. Don't get confused.
Oh, because you're sitting there like oogling at
or maybe it was a build out. Or maybe it was a build out project. Don't get confused. It can get done the right way. It was just really a inside joke that we're glad that we could share with everybody. And
that's perfect, because a high alcohol beer like that, you're definitely gonna.
Well, we saw it fit because of Bermuda Triangle. Don't get confused, and the branding that I can create off of that is going to be fun. Another one of it, which is our chocolate Mayday. and watch this, another one part of ours, and watch this was another saying of Lee's that we kind of implemented into that Triangle series. Like, watch this, watch what I'll do to get us out of this situation. You know what I mean? So
It says here in the notes one of the gentlemen's from Montana.
So that's our brewmaster, Bill.
Oh, okay. No, he's from. He lived in Montana.
I used to live in Montana.
He was reared in the
To
South.
high school. Yeah.
He's still
But
sore about it, right?
Montana's not South. That's my
I
joke.
had to steal his joke
my line.
before he said it.
But yeah, Montana's not South. I'm going back there next Wednesday. 2 weeks. Big
So
class reunion.
he's also a brewmaster co with you, or
Yeah,
you're
so he's the one teaching me how to go from homebrew, like 5-10 gallon system, to our 20 barrel system.
right.
So he likes to make really traditional beer, clean beer that once you drink it, it leaves your palate. Not a lot of not doing crazy things with it, just like a perfect clean beer.
At least you achieved
kinda
that with
his
this
style.
beer.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be very happy to hear that.
Well, that's the thing, as with a fruit beer or a beer with any adjunct in it, it should be a base of a good barley, and then you should have that nuance of, in this case, the rice is the nuance that was definitely there.
Speaking of nuances,
Yeah, it's this guy. Jeez.
Yeah.
I think these guys only come here so they can drink.
gotta keep it moving. So you only got an hour show,
Right,
Brett.
yeah, okay. No, but it definitely, you got those nuances. Same thing with like fruit beers. You should never have something that's inundated with too much fruit. It should always just be a real great base of a beer, and then the wonderful nuance that brings it home. So.
If they want to use that towel there.
Yeah, here you
No,
go.
perfect.
Where'd you get that, huh?
I got it from the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got, remember the Billabong bar over here in Hallandale?
Yeah.
It used to be the radio station people hang out. They closed and they gave me some of the,
I was
they
gonna
were
say we've
giving away
never
their
had
stuff.
the Tucker people on the show. I mean, because they're with National.
No, they gave me some
Distributing, and they're just
Newcastle
never
stuff,
around
some
out
beer
there.
signs and
I
everything.
never- go for it.
One of these days-
I can never run into any of those people.
So this is the Don't Get Confused.
Okay,
Figure we'll go
so-
a little high alcohol.
All right, so great. It's a beautiful color on this. So explain this beer to us for the folks.
So this is our Belgian triple,
Okay.
brewed with Belgian candy sugar
Wow.
also. So kind of boosts the alcohol, but
It's got
not
a great aroma
take
right
the,
off the bat.
mouthfeel.
So it
and-
should be just right where it's supposed to be. Nice orange and really complex orange and citrus notes from esters, not from hops.
And we put so pretty basic grain bill for a triple, Mount Hood hop, and our Belgian yeast that we use for this. So for
Wow.
11%, it
That's
doesn't.
a lot of flavor.
Yeah, that's very nice. The sugar gives you that really nice alcohol bill, but it also keeps it very light and
Yep.
quaffable. So this beer is very drinkable, even though it's a big beer.
Wow.
And then
Smoky.
lovely, wonderful viscosity in the mouthfeel. Like those really nice tones of orange and citrus come through in the ester that you're looking for from the nice attenuation of the yeast. And then, of course, just that really dry hop to balance it off in the mid palate. You get it right on the side of the tongue there, huh? And it,
Well, let me sit up and
Good.
talk about
Yeah.
this one.
right?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's
I
very
like-
good. And these are not easy beers to pull off because there's a lot of complexity in these beers. Once reserved for Belgians only, now the Americans are giving them a go at it, huh?
yeah, we just so happened to release this Belgian triple 4 days before the Belgian
Yeah, so
Belgium
that's
USA
probably
game.
poor
so,
timing, but
And then Belgian
Well, if it
Independence
jinxed
Day's
us or
coming
not,
up too. So
yeah.
Well, hey, it is what it is. We don't take on, we'll take them on with beer and football, right? What do we care?
No, we took it off during the game.
Oh,
No, I'm
did
just
you?
kidding. I'm just kidding.
and then we have a bourbon barrel version of this that we put out. Well, the first one we put out a bourbon barrel, and then we just got a couple more barrels, so we just put this back in it.
Here, let's see here in the notes. You guys, you're gonna do high gravity and some sours too, huh?
Yeah, we have our first wild ale right now in 2 of the barrels. We
A little tricky
cultivated-
working with that at the brewery. What are you using, Brettanomyces?
It's actually yeast we cultivated that's hanging around outside the brew house.
Oh, okay, so like
it's,
more of a lambiscus type of thing.
Yeah, it's very. It has a starfruit quality to it.
Ah, that's nice.
People in my bottle share, when we were brewing it, when we were testing out our grist mill, we had some grain, wanted to test it out, see how much we got out of it, and we just did a wild ale, see what it did, and so we could kind of get the flavors of what's hanging around that barn. And it's very starfruit
That's
quality.
really cool that
Yeah.
you guys have an authentic barn, because I don't know if you know, George, over in Europe, what they do is, especially with lambic, they'll brew the beer and then they'll let it sit out actually in open vats.
Oh, you mentioned that on another show.
Yeah,
Let-
and
let
what happens
the
is you have
nature
a-
happen to
an
it.
indigenous yeast will come and ferment the beer, in a certain way to where an acid will infect it and give it this really interesting overall, and kind of a sourness and a little bit of a barnyard funk.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for an excellent value.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's
It
so
totally
cool
is,
that you guys
George.
actually have and Florida's got a lot of funk going on up there
Oh, yeah.
in the rafters.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like somebody I know, fucking the rafters.
What?
Yeah, the building was Dade County wood pole barn from
Yeah.
1952. So I mean,
I was gonna
it's
ask
had
you how
its-
you guys got that place because I've been driving by that there since I moved to Florida, going, wow, that's a really cool old building. I remember when it was grain. I know the building's gone from grain to grain.
It has.
Yeah. So I've always loved that building. And there's another spot too. I live down off of Hillsborough Boulevard in Deerfield, and just over the turnpike, just west, there's like a corrugated building that would make a perfect brewery, and it's always for sale. And I think it's a church right now. And I'm always driving by. I've been driving by for years, going, I can't wait for somebody to make that a brewery, man. Because it's
Yeah, I know the building you're talking about.
right.
Yeah.
It
I've driven
used
by
to be like
quite
a
few
produce
times. Yep.
place, right? Didn't you think that too when you saw it?
It's a pretty cool building. Yeah.
It's
I've-
perfect for
I mean,
a
I grew up
brewery.
that whole area, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just cool. You see these structures now, and that's the ambiance of what local beers brought to South Florida. Back in the day, you would never think like that, but now you see a building, you're like, that would be an awesome brewery, perfect brewery site, for a great brew pub and whatnot.
I was just down in Wynwood, like on Saturday. There's like a lot of buildings like that.
That place is awesome.
No, totally. I was there for like a culinary and art tour. And,
Yes.
But there's like so many buildings that are perfect for that.
And then there's that little strip there. I was just hanging out with Jonathan Wakefield the other day, and I haven't yet to go down it since he's got it ready though. But there's like 3 or 4 places down there that are opening up.
The
very
Concrete
soon.
Beach one.
Concrete
is,
Beach is almost done.
Yeah.
Jonathan Wakefield too. So
Yeah, the area is fit for breweries for sure.
yeah, and hopefully a couple of more.
Well, Brett, I'm not confused. Can I have a little more?
Of course.
He
Sneaks
listens
up on
well.
you a
He
little
listens
bit.
well. He's good.
Don't
like
worry,
that.
I'm a professional. That's enough.
Yeah, he's a professional. He brings in tequila and Drambuie to get himself going.
I brought that for you.
I know. Tonight, I figured I'm just going to be beer only. I wanted to save myself for these guys. So, very cool. A lot of really great stuff. Guys, we're sitting here talking to Saltwater Bewery. We have Dustin Jeffers and Peter Agardy. I'm sorry, Agardy. I don't want to mess your name up. I apologize. They're here, and they're talking to us about their wonderful craft beer that they have, a really beautiful, beautiful facility that they have in Delray Beach, Florida, right off Atlantic Avenue, just west of 95. Now, what I love is you can just drive by and see the building. And you did the beautiful artwork on the outside, I would imagine.
Yeah. A friend of mine and myself.
I love that because you can drive by and see it. It's just that what better marketing is there than that?
Yeah, we did a hand painted sign. We saw it fit for the barn and the logo. Of course, we recreated on the side of the building and
Yeah, it's cool. And interesting enough, they let you put that on the outside of the building, but they won't let you guys have a food truck. Talk to me about that whole debacle. Unless
That's all you.
I mean,
all right. Well, there's a few things. We would love to have food trucks.
Right.
We know that we'll start with this. Our customers would love to have food trucks.
Of course.
Our drinkers. And then, of course, we would like to have them as well. But right now, the city of Delray has done a lot for us to get open and build. So we're respecting the ordinance that they have in place, which is a no mobile business ordinance on top of a no food truck ordinance, I believe, that we lie just outside of, but we fall under the no mobile business clause. A lot's being done at the moment to see if we can carve out some areas, some industrial areas like where we are, to get Delray some food trucks and not only allow, more tourism per se to come to Delray, but to allow existing local businesses in Delray to have their food trucks catered to us and outside of our city. For them right now, it's not worth it if you can't have it in your backyard. So there's more than just us who want it, but it's just
So you're
our
gonna let them do the work.
yeah. Well, we've done a lot of
Coalition.
we've done a lot
Yeah,
of
there
public
you go.
promotion to get the city to get the our customers and the people of Delray to voice their opinion. We've been trying to get on the agenda for the city commission meeting since February, so it looks like we'll be finally getting our turn at the podium hopefully next month. So we didn't get it last night. We didn't get it the month before. Like I said, since February we've been trying, but we know things take time and good things,
Yeah.
I guess, come to those who wait. So
artist,
we're going to be
brewer,
patient.
and maybe spark a political career here. What do you think? Huh? No, that's cool. You know what I often think of is the guys that hold the sandwich boards. So that's kind of the same thing.
That's
Yeah,
me.
That's a workaround, right?
well,
Not a
we-
reach around, George, but a workaround.
Well, we allow delivery, takeout, bring your own food in the brewery, in the tasting room.
Like something that's not
You
like
know.
a constant entity. That's how come you could stand out with a sign as long as you're not sitting down and you're not.
Right.
You can't put a sign out front, but you can have somebody hold one.
Right.
Maybe there's like and then
Oh,
it's
we
gonna
passed
break
him on
down.
the way. He was still working here.
Exactly. So I mean, maybe there's like something that can be done like that. But I mean, of course, you want to change the laws. They're archaic, and the good thing is that things are changing in Florida. Century Village is the occupancy is kind of falling off, and young people are moving in and growing up, and all the kids are getting older, and those laws change over time. And there's no reason. I read some of the notes. They could literally consider the gas station next to you a food entity. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's just absurd, and it just lines somebody's pockets in one way or another to be that way. But those things definitely change over time. So
Exactly. I think that it'll be a compromise, and that's what it'll be. And I have no doubt that customers will get what they want, through that. So we'll see.
very cool. Let's take a quick break. What do you say?
Sure.
We always got to take one per show. We've done a
Right.
half hour, so let's take a quick break. When we come back, we are here with the boys from Saltwater Bewery, and they're trying all these brewing. They're really doing a lot of wonderful jobs here, brewing some of these great beers, and we're trying them all here on Body Glass Show on SoFloRadio.com.
We have such sights to show you.
SoFloRadio.com.
Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology, preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware, and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now. 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
Social media marketing. You know your business needs it, but you have no clue on how to do it. And who has the time?
Don't worry, you're not alone. Mouse Media is here to help.
Mouse Media has linked creativity, art, and technology to expand your web presence and increase traffic to your site. Visit them at mousemedia.us.
That's mousemedia.us.
Or follow Mouse Media on Twitter and on Facebook.
Mousemedia.us.
Strawberry patches, smoothie. Come
Get your hands off me.
Huh?
I said don't touch me.
I shouldn't have went to that party last night. Now I'm seeing talking fruit.
You're not dreaming, Bubba, and you're not putting me in that blender.
But you're just a fruit.
Who you calling a fruit?
You are. You're a delicious passion fruit.
Why, sure, I'm passionate. How would you like to be blended, huh? I got right, you know.
Customers waiting. You gotta go.
Yeah, but wait, you can...
At Power Smoothie in Aventura, we show fruit no mercy. Always fresh, always delicious. To make the best smoothies and wraps on earth, try our new cilantro lime-alicious wrap or our hot chipotle chicken. Power Smoothie in Aventura, located just north of the Aventura Mall in the Promenade Shops. Or call 305-792-5338. Open 7 days a week.
When you're ready to actually lose weight safely and steadily while being monitored by a physician, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson is there for you. The family medicine practice was established by her father in 1956 and continues as a medical practice that now specializes in weight reduction. Dr. Kim Jacobson joined the practice 20 years ago as both a family medicine practitioner and weight loss specialist. The Weight Loss Clinic utilizes a combination of appetite suppression medication and vitamins to produce great results, usually 3 to 4 pounds per week for most patients. Now you can change your lifestyle while still enjoying your own food, just less of it. They offer a choice of 2, 3, or 4-week plans. So whether you just need to lose a few pounds or a lot, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson can help you. They're located at 5454 Northeast 4th Avenue in Miami, just 2 blocks west of 54th Street and Biscayne Boulevard. Call them at 305-751-0091. They'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. That's 305-751-0091. Get started on a beautiful new body today with Dr. Kim Jacobson and the Weight Loss Clinic.
The
most important online radio station. It's easier than ever to listen to SoFlo. On the air and everywhere. On any computer, any mobile device, iPhone, iTouch, and anywhere you are, just hit SoFloRadio.com. Tell your friends about South Florida's radio network, SoFloRadio.com. And now we return you to By the Glass.
Can we come right in? Yeah, hey.
Come right in. I mean, I could play some music after the fact, but I was just distracted.
All right, so we're back. We're on the air here. So thanks, guys. Welcome back to By the Glass Show. We're here with the Saltwater Brewery.
There's some music for you.
All right, hey, music. Oh, I love it.
I don't
Did
even
you
know
just
what
get the
it is.
hurricane playing?
I didn't.
What kind of music is this, George?
I have no idea. I just fired something out.
Is this what you listen to at night when you go to sleep? Oh, I don't understand.
I just fired something out. I think it's Irish.
When you're dancing in front of the mirror and tucking your penis up.
Oh my God!
Is that what this is, George?
My ex says she wouldn't tell anybody about that.
I was looking through your window. That's what I thought.
She does say
Fantastic. So welcome back to By the Glass Show. We're a show about beverage culture. We come to you every Thursday. We got Dustin and Peter in here from Saltwater. And these guys are up there in Delray pumping out some really great beers. Beautiful facility. I definitely go by there and check it out. Talk to me, guys. What's the tasting room gets packed, right? I mean,
we get packed on the weekends, Friday, Saturday nights, Saturday days. We've got a pretty consistent local crowd during the week. A lot of regulars. Good people.
Yeah, they started floating in. I was there on a weekday at 5 o'clock.
And we have a few TVs and cable, and like the World Cup games have been packed. And
awesome.
events and stuff like that. But I mean, it's just location helps a lot too. We're right there off the highway. We're on Atlantic Ave, right outside the downtown Delray
you can kind of
cluster.
Park, just keep going. It just there's like
exactly.
a lot of just like the line just goes forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it took us a while to make it what it looks like. We put a lot into it, just detail and everything. And
but you kept it authentic as well.
We used a lot of the wood that we tore out in the process. Like we took out our second floor in the back to fit our tanks in so they could come through the floor vertically. And then we left some of the floor in over our beams. Structurally, we left a mezzanine to access for dry hopping and such. We're never using ladders or lifts for any dry hopping up on our 40-barrel tanks. So that's one of the things that was a plus, but we didn't, was
you guys
along the way plan.
Do you get to reclaim any CO2 or any sustainability aspects yet? I know it's tough when you're not. I know only the bigger guys do that stuff, but I mean,
we've talked about it.
Right now, the biggest thing we do is when we're cooling the wort down. Oh, sorry.
Heat exchanges and stuff.
Yeah, well, we're bringing it's all our filtered water there, going through the heat exchanger, and then we're putting it back to our hot liquor tank so we can brew again.
Yeah, that saves a lot of energy.
Yeah.
It really adds up.
Yeah,
so this is the Sea Cow?
This is the Sea Cow Milk Stout. Nice. So 6% milk stout.
That's manatee to you and me, buddy.
I saw the picture.
So this is actually Pete's wife, Lauren. When we were homebrewing, she named our milk stout Sea Cow.
Yeah, it's her favorite type of beer, and she came up with that name. It was up on our whiteboard. I mean, early on we were homebrewing.
I think this personally, this is a point of difference beer for me. I think you guys really knocked it out of the park with this one. Really wonder. I mean, I've had it a couple of times. Nice. The chocolate malts, they pop right out at you, and give you a really nice overall.
It smells great. It's way smoother than I thought it was.
And then just enough attenuation and balance from the hops to make it
creamy,
crisp,
not too sweet,
and kind of fall away. Like you said about your brewer wants beers that just kind of you drink them and then they're gone.
It's not bitter at all.
Our goal right now is to make really good base beers. So in the future, when we do start experimenting with extra flavors, we have the good base beer to start it with. So we want to teach people what the beer should actually taste like, and then if we make a coffee version, they'll know what the original beer was and then what the coffee version should, and what all the coffee adds, and that whole part of the whole brewing process.
And like if you go on to like an imperial stout or whatnot, that type of thing, right? Too, I can imagine. Some good imperials, maybe some good barrel aging on the imperials and whatnot. And,
yes.
That's all to come. So where's the actual barrel room? Do you just have it in the back, or is there a specific area?
We have them out by the brew house. So good thing about barrel aging down in Florida, warmer temperatures mean you can store them for a short amount of time and they're still good. So we don't have to put them in for a year in a Denver cave or a Detroit cave. Our stuff's ready in 3 months and you'll get the same flavors. All that flavor extracts from the barrel, just the same.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Florida breweries and the southern breweries are starting to catch on that, and we caught on from fellow brewers that, that's we were going, what's going on there, and we were amazed that the cellaring aspect is a controllable long-term goal, whereas we have fluctuations temperature that can actually help speed up our processes.
Right. It definitely help there, but it can also hinder certain beers too.
It's definitely
that you want cooling aspects. Maybe like saisons and beers that all those phenols that can come out and really just become too much. But
we're definitely barrel aging ones that can
of
hold
course,
up to
the right
those temperatures right now.
Absolutely.
And can do them a little quicker.
No, absolutely, and Florida is an interesting place because it's completely different. It kind of flips the switch on traditional brewing. I mean, you were not even allowed to brew in Germany in the summertime, because beer just went funk. That's why they said, that's really where Oktoberfest came from. Okay, cool. We got we got a gluten-free bird. Talk to me about that. That's interesting. I mean, everybody's asking for.
Yeah.
But did you see on the TV the doctor came out, the guy that studied the whole thing, and he's like, unless you have celiac disease, all you people are just a bunch of.
The gluten-free.
Well,
I'm sure glad.
I don't know. I mean, that's
my grandma's been preaching that. She's going, what is up with this new fad? She's celiac. She's been, forever, and I grew up with that. It was like, what's this new fad? This is
people think that it doesn't save you calories. It still gets you fat.
We're gonna roll with
No, but you need one because everybody asks for one.
I'll tell you what,
and between me and you, the ones that are out on the market, they're just not the best.
9 times out of 10, the people asking in our tasting room for gluten-free are celiac. That's because it's the only thing they can drink.
Right.
And a few of them like it because they like it because it's a different beer too. It's a grain-free bill, but it's
I've never seen
definitely
the
a lot
sorghum
of
grain.
Sorghum's not. It's this. It looks like honey, pretty much.
Yeah, when you extract
it's not a grain.
Well, it's like a. Okay, they pull it from like a. How can I close? Locally here we have Brazilian pepper.
Okay.
It's an invasive species of red pepper, and it looks like a cluster of baby grapes almost, and it looks like this cluster of coriander seed or baby grapes. So sorghum's like a seed-looking thing that comes off of a plant that they in the industry extract the malts out of. Oh, okay. So when you get sorghum industry for brewing, it's in a malted form.
Okay.
You're not extracting the malts from the plant. It's coming, like Dustin said. You're getting it like it can extract.
So like if you're a home brewer and you want to work with extract only, non-grain is which most beginners start out with. It would be similar to that. Correct?
Similar to a liquid like that, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, like we get it from the same place we get our grain from, and it comes in these big pails, like a big syrup.
You didn't bring that one, did you?
No.
Oh, thank God.
It's a nice alternative for people, though. And working with honey's tough because honey is a fermentable sugar and it over attenuates. I mean, you can basically make a beer that's so dry and like all alcohol. Real tough to do, and you can make a braggot. You know what I mean? If you're not careful either.
They could sell that right on 95.
So yeah, we kept it
under the overpass.
Still has a sweet finish to it. We used local orange blossom honey from West Palm, right?
I think it sourced from West Palm. I think it was.
I was just talking to Tom Mensch the other day. You guys know OBP, and he's been doing it for 20 years. And he told me that this year he has to buy his honey elsewhere because the bees, man, they're just not. Really? Because the orange and the citrus industry in Florida is going to be defunct soon because of some type of virus that's killing off the trees.
Yeah,
it happened in California, and then they brought it back after 20 years. But
there's I spend time out in the groves for personal. I have some buddies out there, property in the groves, and we play out there and hunt a little bit. But they were telling me the same thing. There's a I forget what it is, but there's actually an organic way that they're figuring this out, and it's completely outside of pesticides. And they're learning that well, not to get too off subject, but there's a pheromone that they can replicate and produce and put on each individual tree to keep this bug off. It makes the bug think that the other bugs around are infertile. So it goes away. But it's a super labor-intensive thing, and if you're not willing to organic labor-intense do it, your groves are going to
I don't think people understand what the citrus industry is to Florida. I mean...
Number one in the world export, for oranges, Florida.
It's going to be devastating to the state. So... let's hope that they're willing to do that. But in turn, they release the bees to spread. You ever heard of the birds and the bees, Rob? You ever hear that?
God, I got a 12-year-old.
There you go. But at least he's a boy. Okay.
I never. I never heard of it. Tell me about it.
It's for George, just the birds and the birds.
Yeah, the birds and the birds. But they spread. You know how they need people actually sell their bees to go out, and pollinate.
Yeah,
all
they
the, lease their bees. So they're gonna a lot of people are gonna go lease their bees over in the almond fields in California because it's safe now. No one's gonna let their bees go off into these chemical laden
Yeah,
and that affects the orange blossom honey.
Yep.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
look at how empty Rob is.
All right,
over
Rob.
Here.
No, we got.
I'm really savoring this. Whatever.
This is phenomenal. Yeah. What's
I
wonderful
love
about it
this.
is the
This is like my new
creaminess of the
favorite
body
beer.
and
I like
the
it, yeah.
acridity of the patent. I'll use black patent.
Yep.
The acridity of the black patent and the creaminess of the body. They work really nice together. Good beer is about balance. Good beer is about basic ingredients that work really good together. And you guys have achieved it in this one. This has always been my favorite beer that I've had at the brewery. So,
And I personally,
top-notch.
at the brewery, I think it's one of our most solid and my favorite.
Yeah, good. Good minds think alike. Fantastic. So when we do fill Rob's glass here, what would we
No,
talk about?
I wasn't asking for that. I'm just saying we better move on.
Yeah.
But you brought two other ones.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have
I
our,
wanted to ask you about that because you're putting a 22-ounce bottle
yeah,
in
there's
front
a
of me.
bottle.
And this
Yeah.
is the Chocolate Mayday. And this is part of a series, the Mayday series, correct?
This is part of our Bermuda Triangle series,
Okay.
which falls into
the
our
honors.
overall and our offshore series. We'd say beers that fall under 9% above gravity fall into our offshore series, and then within that we created this. Like I said before, I think we were saying just as you get way out there, Bermuda Triangle, you're getting lost. 9 to 11%, 12% beers. So we kind of had fun and threw them in a subcategory.
Yeah, I really enjoy your whole categories and the way that you guys do everything. It's a very nice approach to the artistry of your brewing concept.
Where do the names come from? I know you said your wife named one of them.
Well, we definitely have some powwows quite a bit. You know, we're right now we're 7 months in, 17 beers. We've had different recipes. We've had quite a few powwows for names, and our branding actually keeps us locked within a nice little box that it forces us to create names that we can't just pull them out of a hat. You know, we've got to follow our guidelines that we put in place for us to create our brands, and it makes it easy for us actually to pinpoint where to pull, whether it may be a species of fish or inside the ocean, outside of, for instance, gluten-free bird, you know, represented by a
gluten-free bird.
Gluten-free bird was
cool.
like when we talked
That
about
is
it. It's we landed off of our frigate bird, which is in our logo, which is an ocean-going bird that is literally the freest bird you've ever seen. They fly around, and it's just we play it off of the words, not necessarily naming things after species.
What's that other bird that's out there? Starts with an A, and it's just
albatross.
Albatross.
They're a frigate bird's part of the albatross family.
Okay,
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
reminds
They're
me of
our
that.
local eastern albatross almost.
There was some movie I watched. I think I say albatross.
This is nice.
Yeah, no, this looks beautiful.
Yeah, so this
We
is
have
our
a depth of beer chart, so that's where the whole coastal reef offshore comes. So if it's lower alcohol, it's going to be something that's closer to the shore. And also, as you go down further into
really
the
cool.
ocean and deeper, it's going to be a darker beer. So it also helps with the whole education. If people don't know what a wit beer is, they'll see it's like a lower alcohol, lighter beer. And people that don't know what a Belgian triple, higher alcohol, lighter
You
beer,
know what?
because it goes on the chart.
You know what I want to throw out there? As being a surfer myself, and with the depth of beer, you can do it on top of the water. You can do ankle high, knee high, waist high waves. There you go.
See, I'm telling you, once you start lock
going,
into this
there's
thing, there's a lot to choose
And then there
from.
was a great story
Where
today.
can you surf? Here?
Deerfield?
Florida?
Dude,
Yeah.
there'll be good waves from this storm, man.
What, body surfing?
No, bro.
I'm not mentioning- I'm not
you.
mentioning-
You will come out like a crying
I
little
won't
baby.
mention.
You got to go
mention
north
any
of
names, but-
Okeechobee for real waves.
Yeah, only Kelly Slater, the best in the world.
I won't mention any names.
Surfs
But one of
pipeline.
our bartenders may have missed out yesterday. I mean, may have
Did you go surfing?
skipped work yesterday
yeah.
to
Yeah,
go
I was
find
talking
some
about
waves
that
up
earlier,
in Fort
couple
Pierce.
of
Oh,
hours.
sure, man.
But he caught him. He had to drive a little bit. but-
Only kooks don't know there's down here. Believe me. What did you need, brother?
The bottle.
Yeah. So okay, but let's say I'll just go to whatever. Bottling. Plans for bottling and cans and whatnot.
We would prefer canning. Just kind of fits
Of course.
the whole lifestyle. It's a good package for the beer. Don't have to worry about light, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it also helps with kind of where our company lies. We want to be on the beach. We want to be on boats. So it makes more sense for us to can. I always have the thought that some beer can can be in a can, and then some beer deserves a large format bottle.
I think they're
like our
coexist nicely.
Yeah, our Belgian triple I feel like should be in a like 22 ounce, maybe cork bottle, something like that. Where our IPA, our pale ales, all that stuff, perfectly fine in a can. So our goal right now is get a canning line, and yeah, that's our goal right now.
I love this beer. We're drinking the Mayday Imperial Chocolate Cream Porter. Now, interesting, most people go for an Imperial Stout, Russian Imperial Stout, whatnot, Imperial Stout. And you guys went for Porter. Really sweet malts. Not so much burn acridity, but more sweetness emphasis here, which maybe brings it into that Porter realm. I mean, how many times have I sat and studied for days on what's the difference between a Stout and a Porter? But really, when it comes down to it, it's brewer's choice.
We still argue about it. So yeah, everyone argues about it.
But this, you can easily say that this is your porter because of nuances, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a lot smoother. It's we put lactose in this as well to kind of keep it a little smoother and sweeter. We also we actually didn't put any chocolate into it. It's all chocolate malt, gives it the chocolate flavor. So a lot of people are surprised because of the big chocolate flavor you get out of it, and we didn't put any in it.
Isn't it so wonderful that you can, through roasting, bring out different flavors, coffee, chocolate, toffee?
It's unbelievable.
It's amazing that you can literally just bring all of those flavors out due to different temperatures of mashing, stages of mashing, different malt bills, ratios of water to grain and whatnot. I mean, you guys are alchemists, and I often talk about, making gold. And literally, you're making gold. You sell this, and you can convert it into gold. Out of nothing but straw and grain. And that's what Rumpelstiltskin did.
I knew he was going to get there. I knew it.
This one's black gold.
How come there's no Rumpelstiltskin Brewing Company? Is there one? There should be one, right?
Any minute now. You'll see.
Somebody watching.
There will be now.
True, though. Isn't it amazing?
Oh, yeah.
And it's truly, and it is one of the purest art forms as well.
Yeah. Like a lot of our beers don't have a lot of extra flavors into it. It's just playing with the yeast, playing with the grain bill. We have our black currant that we aged on black currants. But other than that, it's really, and our raspberry reef, which we just brewed 2 days ago. So we're coming back out with that. Other than that, it's kind of, we want the grain and the yeast and the hops to be the forefront of the beer.
Yeah. Again, both of those beers you mentioned too that we did age fruits and the black currant. Local sea grape wood is another one.
I tried it.
Ingredient that we're
I tried it actually. Bo had it when I was there once.
It's a base beer that we're aging stuff on. It's we make that base beer and create ingredients to coexist in that fermentation and aging process.
That's what I was going to ask you about experimentation. Now, do you have a little barrel? Do you still have one of your little barrel systems you experiment on, or do you everything?
No, when we do something, we do it on a 20 barrel stage and go for it.
Oh, yeah.
No guts, no glory.
Yeah,
exactly. We had talks today again for the 400th time about getting a pilot system again, but we're we're playing catch up every day.
The only thing I think about it when I think about it, would be when you say you use the grape, sea grape wood as opposed to beechwood. I mean, how did you know that was going to work? And then you use all of this liquid. That's a big risk. I mean, that's a big risk.
It was the first beer that we homebrewed together when I moved down here.
Okay, so
kitchen.
we
put sea grape.
So you kind of experimented that.
Yeah, we did use sea grape wood in the process of 2 beers.
Do you just go out and cut it from 40th Street, or what do you do?
Yeah, yes and no. I know a guy who has a tree removal service.
Okay.
So we're getting trees that have been removed for, we're basically getting more reclaimed wood that would otherwise go to mulch or waste, and sanitizing, disinfecting, debarking if needed. We're taking the tree trunks, breaking them down into usable pieces of wood, and sea grape's also something that in my family has been used for smoking ribs. I mean, we've used sea grape barbecue my whole life. My grandmother
You're a 4th generation Floridian, right?
Yes, yeah. So I mean, my grandmother made sea grape jam. So the tree is a edible hardwood, itself. Every part of it is non-toxic, and we're so delighted and surprised at how well it's taking with the beer. I mean, we aged a session ale on it for Surfrider Foundation. We raised almost $2,000 2 Fridays ago with Surfrider Foundation with a beer that we brewed in collaboration with them, and we just took our session ale, aged it on sea grape wood. I couldn't believe the result. and it's such a basic beer. I mean, you can taste every bit of it.
So how do you prepare the wood? Is it dried first, or is it?
Yeah, when I get it from him, it's a little green.
Okay.
So it's got to dry a little bit, and we've got to sanitize it as well.
Do you add it into your secondary, or do you?
It depends on the beer. We've done it where we put it into the boil. We've done it where we aged it in fermentation. Kind of depends on the beer we're doing. But yeah, we've done it both ways so far.
Neat. That is so cool.
It kind of adds this fruity flavor to the beer, and also smooths all the beer out. So if there's like a huge hop bite that kind of stays with you with the beer, or if there's a crisp finish, it smooths everything out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we found it as like a neutralizing ingredient too.
Yeah.
You know, often what I do with local breweries, I say, how do you guys set yourself apart from other different local breweries? I think in this show we've really seen how Saltwater sets themselves apart in a very unique way at many different levels from a lot of other local breweries, but still being a big part of the community.
Yeah, they use lots of local
through your artistry and your insightfulness and your concepts and your overall being one with what your life is, the sea and the waterman over here, Peter the Waterman, just making it happen and be an extension of yourself through the beer. It definitely shines through. I'm so glad that you guys are here on the show today, so that everybody can share in that vision that you have.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
This is another one too. It's 9.5%, and you don't really get that big alcohol.
No,
I haven't gotten a big alcohol at any of them.
Yeah.
It's all been very, very, very flavorful.
That was delicious. Those last two.
Oh, we're back to golden.
Well, we saved the last ones.
you gotta
Our Screamin' Reels IPA. We saved our IPA for last.
So Screamin' Reels is 9%. The original.
No, this is 7.5.
Sorry, the Mayday was.
He was talking about.
Okay, yeah.
The one pouring now is our 7.5% IPA. Kind of a blend between West Coast, East Coast style. But we.
Perfect. And I do love the fact that this is the only
watching it pour.
IPA we tried so far. Or an Imperial. Is this an Imperial? All right, 9%. It'll have to be.
No, this is 7.5. It's just it's our single IPA. It's our one of our core IPAs. This is on the market. We're putting this distribution.
So
this
we're
is one of our.
We're drinking Screamin' Reels IPA 7.5, 65 IBU.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, and it's the only IPA we've tried tonight, which a lot of people overdo the IPAs. And this is nice that we have one in the portfolio, but it's certainly by no means is it meant to be a crown jewel, right? I mean, everything's a crown jewel. I mean, everything has been really, really fantastic. So
yeah, so this is we didn't want to make it super malty, not super hoppy, kind of a nice balance between them both.
Lovely nose.
Yeah, it's a big Columbus hop, and then we have an experimental hop, which was a Simcoe clone.
Tough to get these days, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Hops are at the premium.
Well, that's. Yeah, well, we're using the clone.
Wow.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah.
But we like the clone, and we're going to stick with it.
It's a very fresh nose. Once again, guys, the freshness comes through. And, don't mistake freshness in some breweries as under attenuated or not finished beer. This beer is very well finished with a fresh aspect, which is tough to do. I mean, well, it's made right there in Delray.
So, again, it's got the bitterness to it, but it finishes clean. It doesn't
it doesn't taste like it smells. Again, you smell it, it's like, wow, I'm going to brace myself for this, and then it's so smooth, not bitter.
I like that the hops are there, forefront. The malt comes through sweet. Hops are immediately forefront, but then they do fall away, which is necessary for an IPA. And just inundating bitterness for me. I just can't finish the beer.
Yeah.
And
this beer always, especially after drinking a bunch of malt heavy like we have so far, it gives me almost a numbing on my gum, like almost that just the acids that after doing that profile and hitting this at the end. There's a reason why. Obviously, we do it. At
what's
the
your
end.
schedule on this?
Hop it. So we dry hop it with the Columbus and Experiment.
Did you do a full
more
60
Columbus.
of bittering?
Yep, full 60. Columbus in the start. There's a little bit of Cascade, but really it's Columbus
so
and
full
Experiment.
60 and then just a dry hop? No, like 15 or anything?
No.
Okay.
We put 60, 30, and Flame Out.
Okay, so three additions. Excellent. Guys, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. I just want everybody to go. Plug yourself. Is there the website information for consumers?
Yeah, we're www.saltwaterbewery.com, as you hear it. And we're located just off 95 in Delray Beach, Florida. Just east of Congress. You can't miss us on the Tri-Rail tracks when you exit. 10,000 square foot, big red barn. Can't miss it.
Everybody be real safe this holiday weekend. Please don't drink and drive. Do not overconsume. Enjoy all beers responsibly. We want you to come back next Thursday and listen to By the Glass Show. We want you to go up to Saltwater, try some beers, but do so responsibly, please. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having
Peter
us.
Agardy, Dustin Jeffers. These guys are from Saltwater. Great brewery up in Delray. And 4th of July weekend, going to be popping?
Yeah.
Hopping?
We're open normal time.
I love that you're American and you give back to the local American economy. I don't think people talk about that enough with local craft beers. You don't give it back, all right? Give back to America.
Yeah,
That's what
breweries
we're all
red,
about.
white, and blue, too.
I love it. Have a good night.
You're listening to SoFloRadio.com.